Hi everyone, it's Sunday, May 8th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. In the US, it's Happy Mother's Day, so Happy Mother's Day to everyone. And prices remain weak in the market here. Despite some healthier sales numbers in the export report, China's still not fully participating in the market due to the continuing restrictions there. Overall, producers are working hard to try and stabilize the market, but it's not an easy task. Heavy Texas steer prices have been going up and down by a couple of dollars, with the difference really between the high and low due to the volume sold. Selections at 62.64 pounds sold for $23 this week. Automotive selections dipped lower again too. In the cow sector, we had a wide range of prices reported this week, which was interesting. Looking at the export totals, combined export sales for the week ending April 28th was 568,500, and that's higher by 28% from last week's rather poor number. Combined shipments, on the other hand, were 9% better than last week at 592,700. Slaughter for the week ending May 7th was up by just 1% at 657,000. Turning to Europe, editor Andrea Guolo reports that the market is still in a general holding pattern as new orders have not yet come in. Some prices were lower again this week, but on the other hand, slaughter is waning as per the usual seasonal trend. In the UK this week, he says that things were not terribly active, especially with regard to export orders, and most sales were domestic. The latest conclusions were made at £1 5 cents sterling per kilo for the 36 plus in England, but there is a trend toward £1 even. In Ireland, sales were still at €1 per kilo for the same weight, but there too the market is trending 5 cents less. Looking at European bulls, Andrea reports that prices were largely unchanged, but that was really due to a lack of concluded contracts, not really stability. For southern German bulls, sellers are asking for €1.70 per kilo, but they actually sold 5 to 10 cents less last week than that. So the counter offers this week were €1.60. Consequently, negotiations were pretty much a stalemate. For European cows, prices were down just marginally. And Andrea says the situation is headed for a period of tension, so you'll want to read up on why that is. In the veal sector, there is definitely a shortage at the high end, and for sheep, the top of the range is also very firm. In his analysis, Andrea discusses the supply situation in parts of Europe and what's going on with wet white in Arzignano. Last but not least, in South America, editor Ronald Guiel says that raw material prices are continuing their big downward trend, and they dropped another 15 cents this week after having done so the previous week. The average price is now $2.86 per kilo. TR1 dipped 2 cents this week with a reference price of 90 cents per square foot, and also the split market saw changes again this week. In other news from Brazil, the footwear industry generated more than 17,000 jobs in Q1, and Aba Calçados elected its deliberative council for the next term, which is 3 years. From elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina's Santa Fe region moves to certify deforestation-free meat and leather. Fashion is driving Chile's trade activity index in March. The first day of ANPIC in Mexico logged an estimated sales total of 66 million pesos. In Paraguay, April cattle slaughter was up by nearly 39%. And in Uruguay, fashion prices were up by nearly 7% in April. So that's all we have for this week, and until next week, good night from HideNet.